Chapter 81. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Luffy, you. Looking at the breathless Luffy, Shanks was stunned, and said hesitantly, "Go back, don't mention this matter again." Shanks. Luffy's young face showed an unprecedented seriousness, clenched his fists and said word by word, "Tell me where Yuta went. What do you want to do? Bring her back." "No." Shanks said in a serious tone, frowning, "You know that Yuta's dream is to become a singer." "Of course I know. Since you know, why do you still want to stop her?" Shanks said sternly, "Where Yuta is now is the most perfect island that can really help her realize her dream. If you bring her back now, do you want to ruin her dream with your own hands?" Shanks' words were very serious. Suddenly, Luffy's expression was as if he was struck by lightning. He took a step back in disbelief, his lips trembling. He wanted to refute but couldn't say any powerful words. "Go back, Luffy." Shanks showed reluctance, rubbed Luffy's head, and sighed in his heart, "You will definitely meet again in the future." Although Shanks is not a competent father, he really treats Yuta as his own daughter. If possible, he actually doesn't want to abandon Yuta, but he really can't. Yuta's dream. Luffy looked at Shanks with empty eyes and murmured in a low voice. "I shouldn't bring her back. I am destroying her dream with my own hands." "No, it's not like that." Luffy shook his head and clenched his fists tighter and tighter, breathing heavier. He felt that Shanks was right and that he couldn't be so selfish, but at the same time, he thought Shanks was wrong, and that Yuta's dream was definitely not just that. "Okay, let's go eat." Shanks held Luffy's hand lovingly. I guess Yuta's departure must have been a heavy blow to Luffy. Snap. Suddenly, Luffy shook Shanks' hand off and shouted, "No. What you said is wrong, this is definitely not Yuta's dream." Luffy. Shanks had a headache. Indeed, Yuta's dream is to become a singer, but what she really wants to do. Luffy shouted hysterically, "Be the singer of the Red Hair Pirates." Boom. In an instant, the outstretched hand stopped in midair, and Shanks was stunned. Yuta dreams of becoming a singer because her singing can bring you happiness. The place she really wants to go is to be with you, Shanks. Luffy's voice is getting louder and louder, and his two red eyes stare at Shanks. "As long as you are there, Yuta can sing such beautiful songs, because you are Yuta's favorite father." The people of the Red Hair Pirates who heard the news were silent after hearing Luffy's words. Leaving Yuta in a place she is completely unfamiliar with, without her father's company, she will never be happy, and she will never be happy in this life. Shanks. Do you want to watch Yuta sad and upset? An island in the New World, Pa. The barbecue in his hand fell to the ground, and Shanks was stunned. A trace of panic and uneasiness flashed in his eyes, which were always deep and wise. Yuta. Hey Shanks. Roger patted Shanks on the shoulder and smiled. For children, what they really need is companionship. Captain Roger. Shanks looked blank, raised by Roger on a pirate ship since childhood. He had no idea how to be a good father. For Yuta, he took all the sins of the Music Island Elegia on himself, and he didn't want Yuta to be hunted down by the Navy with him, so he placed her in Elegia, an island with the best music in the world. According to his idea, Yuta should like it very much. However, after hearing what little Luffy said, Shanks couldn't help but doubt himself. Is the original idea really correct? Actually, I only understood these truths later, so, go find her, Shanks. Roger laughed. Although it's a little late, it's better than not going. Be careful not to end up like me in the end. Shanks' heart sank. Will Yuta hate herself for being abandoned? She will definitely. With a wry smile on her face, Shanks stood up. Luffy, let's go. No more hesitation. This is not what a father should do. Ah, great. Luffy, I want to go too. Okay, let's go. The live broadcast is still going on. East China Sea, Windmill Village, Port. Luffy. Let's go. Yeah. Don't forget our agreement. Of course. Luffy pressed the straw hat on his head and responded loudly, this is an agreement between men. Because the Red Hair pirates themselves are wanted by the world government, Red Hair does not want to implicate Yuta, so he made a manly agreement with Luffy. Trust me, Shanks, I will definitely bring back Yuta. Come on, Luffy. Beckman smiled and patted Luffy on the shoulder. Lucky Lu, take good care of Yuta. Woo! With the sound of the ship setting sail, the Red Hair pirates left the windmill village, and Luffy also began to practice hard day after day. Bang! Stand up, Luffy. Is that all you can do? Garp punched Luffy's head, you can't be a navy with just this. Ah! Luffy, covered in bruises, roared and rushed towards his grandfather again. Since the last time he came back, his grandson Luffy raised his fist and asked him to help him practice. Garp has happily stayed in the windmill village. Great, my grandson has finally turned over a new leaf and is determined to be a navy. For a moment, the surprise came too suddenly, and Garp couldn't help but shed tears. Bang! 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 Constant beating, constant grinding, near-death training, Luffy's tenacity, even Garp couldn't help but smack his lips. Luffy, this guy, is he going to die? Ace pouted. Live broadcast room, Kaido, the straw hat in this parallel world also wants to be a navy, Big Mom, so boring, Thatch, run away, Shichibukai, straw hat Luffy is here again, Sand Crocodile, get lost, Mogami Mariah, shut up. Vice Admiral Garp, ha ha ha. You are worthy of being my grandson, Ben Beckman, hee I don't remember the parallel Luffy saying that he wants to be a navy or something like that. Garp. A lie. Chapter 82. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 10 years later, Windmill Village, at the port. Bye, everyone, I'm going out to sea. Luffy, who has become a teenager, waved goodbye to the villagers. Villagers? Going out to sea? But didn't Garp say you were going to report to the Navy headquarters? Stop him. The old village chief trembled and shouted, quick, come on, call Garp immediately, Luffy is going to be a pirate. Ha 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 ha, you can't stop me, let's go. Accompanied by Luffy's laughter, the villagers' surprise, and the old village chief's angry voice, the boat gradually left the coast and drifted away. Half a month later, on the sea. Luffy held the sea chart in distress, and suddenly he was overwhelmed. Damn it, where is Elegia Island? Although the sea chart given by Shanks was clearly marked, there was no reference on the sea, and Luffy, who was going out to sea for the first time, was completely lost. After finding Yuta, I must invite a navigator to board the ship, eh? Suddenly, Luffy stood up, blocked the sunlight with his right hand, and squinted his eyes. In the distance, a towering mast appeared in his sight, as well as a pirate flag fluttering in the wind. Bang! Holding a mace, the bloated Aurita was punched away by Luffy. Who can read the sea chart? Me. Me. On the deck, the beautiful girl with short orange hair and the little boy with short pink hair shouted at the same time. But the next second, the short-haired boy was pushed down by the orange-haired girl and took the initiative to come to Luffy. I will watch. Really? Of course. Ha ha ha, great. Luffy was overjoyed and quickly took out the sea chart in his arms, pointed at Elegia and asked, do you know how to get to this place? I know. The girl answered very straightforwardly, with a smile on her face and cunning in her eyes. My name is Luffy, what about you? My name is Nokiko. Asshole. Damn kid, I'm going to kill you. Bang. Aurita didn't finish her words and was punched away by Luffy again. Let's go to Nokiko. Luffy grabbed the girl and jumped onto the boat. From now on, you are my navigator. Luffy patted the girl's shoulders, his face full of joy. I finally don't have to get lost anymore, ha ha ha. Damn it. The girl endured the severe pain from her shoulder, gritted her teeth, glanced behind Luffy and said in surprise, hey. Luffy, they seem to be calling you. They have something to discuss with you. A lie. Luffy was startled when he heard it, and turned his head. Go Mao go Mao. He stretched out his right hand quickly, grabbed the mast of the pirate ship, and flew over. A moment. Huh. They didn't call me, no Kiko, did you hear it wrong? Luffy, scratching his head and looking puzzled, just turned around, but found that his boat had disappeared. Looking into the distance, he saw that the girl no Kiko had already sailed away in the boat. Ah! No Kiko, wait for me, I haven't boarded the ship yet. Luffy shouted anxiously. Stupid. On the boat, the girl shouted to Luffy with a proud face, your treasure belongs to me, ha ha ha. Huh? Have I been cheated? Luffy picked his nose and wondered. All the pirates shouted in unison, I must have been cheated. Stupid. Ah, no Kiko is really cunning. Luffy pouted, then looked at the pirates. Who of you can read the sea chart? The pirates. So, after learning about Luffy's difficulties, the bruised Alrita smiled and offered her own ship so that Luffy could rush to Elegia as soon as possible. Ah, Alrita is such a good person. On the deck, Luffy muttered while holding a large piece of meat. Kobe. Do you want to look back now? Alrita is crying miserably. Is Kobe going to be a navigator on my ship? No. I want to be a marine. Although he was afraid that Luffy would be angry, Kobe still gritted his teeth and shouted. Oh Marines! Luffy picked his nose, when I find Yuta, I will send you to the Navy. Yuta? Is she your partner? Yes. Luffy grinned and said, Yuta is my most important partner, I will definitely find her back. Live broadcast room, Pirate King Roger. Ha ha ha, this little Luffy in this parallel world is also good interesting. Straw Hat Luffy, Nami, you lied to me again. Nami, ha ha ha, I didn't expect that Luffy in the parallel world is just as easy to fool. Usopp, stupid Luffy. Chopper, wow, Nami is so cunning. Kobe, I'm actually sailing with Mr. Luffy, it's amazing. Alrita, damn Straw Hat boy, the live broadcast is still going on. 3 months later. East China Sea, Music Island, Elegia. This is the Music Island. No way, has there been a disaster here? Looking at the devastated island with ruins everywhere, Kobe was surprised. Yeah. It did experience a disaster, Luffy, you. Since arriving on the island, Kobe noticed that Luffy's face was not very good. It's okay. Luffy, remember, you must not let Yuta know the truth. Shanks' words before he left echoed in his mind, and Luffy's face became more and more solemn. Ha ha ha, Yuta, it's Yuta. A lie. Who are you? Yuta, who has grown into a young girl, blinked her eyes, her hair like 2 rabbit ears hanging down on her shoulders, and she looked at the boy in front of her in confusion, but when she saw the straw hat on the opposite head. Swish, the rabbit ears suddenly stood up, and she said in disbelief, You, are you, ha ha ha. I finally found you, Yuta. Luffy laughed and hugged Yuta, it's been a long time since we last met. Luffy. Yuta finally recognized the person in front of her, her beautiful eyes widened, and she grabbed Luffy's face and pulled it hard, it's really you, Luffy. This is incredible, why are you here? Ha ha ha. Of course I'm here to see you. Great, I missed you so much, Luffy. Yeah, I also, cough cough, Yuta you, let go, I can't breathe. He, I'm so happy. Yuta hugged Luffy and said affectionately, but Luffy, how did you know I was here? Of course Shanks told me. Wow, as soon as the voice fell, Luffy felt the delicate body in his arms trembled violently and became stiff. Luffy. Yuta pulled Luffy's face and said seriously, remember, don't mention that man in front of me in the future. Chapter 83. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ah. Why? Shanks misses you too. No. Yuta pushed Luffy away, his brows darkened. He doesn't miss me at all, he never treated me as his daughter. It's not like that, you misunderstood Shanks. I didn't. Yuta shouted, pointing at the ruins behind him angrily. This used to be a world-famous music island, where people lived and worked in peace and contentment, but it was because of him that it became like this, a hateful pirate who kept saying that I was his daughter. I didn't want to be your son, but you abandoned me and destroyed this place. Shanks wouldn't do such a thing. Luffy's expression became serious. Yuta, don't you even trust your own father? I won't forgive him. Yuta's eyes were filled with anger. I will never forgive him in my life. Abandoned, left behind, killing civilians, destroying Elegia. Young Yuta's heart was already broken the moment she saw the red hair pirate's ship leaving her. She will never forgive Shanks for doing that. Wake up, Yuta. Luffy said hurriedly, since it doesn't make sense, there is no need to say it anymore. Instead of letting you stay here alone and think about it, just ask him face to face. Are you on his side too, Luffy? Yuta looked at Luffy deeply, with a strange smile on his face. Yeah, I remember, you are also a pirate, just like him, ruthless. Bang! Suddenly, Luffy moved forward in an instant, grabbed Yuta's shoulder and said loudly, believe me, Yuta, Shanks is not that kind of person. If you don't believe me, I will take you to ask him in person. Boom! In an instant, just when Luffy's hand just touched Yuta's body, a terrifying force burst out from Yuta's body, knocking Luffy away. Stay, Luffy. Yuta smiled, stay here with me, the Pirate King or something like that will only bring pain and sacrifice to this world. We can create a new era together, a world without harm, bloodshed, and death. Live a happy, and fulfilling life together. Yuta tilted her head, and black vortices continued to emerge behind her. Isn't this good? Luffy. Stop it, Yuta. The moment he saw the vortex, Luffy recalled Shanks' words of warning in his mind. Remember Luffy, you must stop Yuta before she summons that power, you must stop her. Why don't you listen to me, Luffy? Why do you have to believe that cruel man? Yuta's expression became gloomy, and he shouted angrily, answer me, Luffy. Boom! The ground shook, and in an instant, the whole of Elegia was shaking. Yuta! Stop, you will be doomed if you continue like this. Even Luffy, are you going to abandon me? Wow! A pair of dark wings bloomed behind Yuta, and a powerful shock wave spread wildly in all directions. A terrifying face that covered the sky slowly emerged in the air. I can't wait any longer. Swish! The red glowing armament hockey covered Luffy's arms, and his feet kept rising and falling like springs, and white mist rose all over his body. This is not a new era, what you created is just a deformed world. I'm sorry, Yuta. Luffy jumped up, and the moment their eyes met, I must stop you. Luffy. Boom. Accompanied by Yuta's heartbreaking shout, countless tentacles made of piano keys rushed towards Luffy. Bang! Luffy punched out, and the terrifying power directly smashed everything in front of him. Is this the totem Jika that Shanks mentioned? A deafening roar exploded in Luffy's body, and the terrifying conqueror's haki enveloped the entire sky. We must stop Yuta before she fully displays this power. In an instant, thunder surged down, surrounding her body, and a flaming fist mixed with thunderbolts punched out. Wake up, Yuta. Boom! With this punch, Totem Jika shattered into slag, disappeared without a trace, and was sealed again. Yuta slowly fell from the air and was hugged by Luffy in time. As for the few music scores that fell with Yuta, they had already shattered into debris. Live broadcast room, 100 Beasts Kaido, Totemojika. What is this? Flame disaster gene, it seems to be a monster caused by this little girl. Big Mom, Momomo childish guy, new era. It's just a joke. Sand crocodile, hee why are the straw hat bastards in every parallel world so strong? Vice Admiral Garp, ha this is all thanks to me. Warring states. You actually have the nerve to say that, the live broadcast is still continuing. On the sea, on the deck. Thank you, Luffy. Yuta, who woke up from a coma, looked at Luffy's back blankly and murmured. Ha ha ha, what's the matter, you are my most important partner. Luffy, come closer. What? Confused, Luffy came forward. But he was hugged by Yuta, hugged very tightly, and buried his whole face in Luffy's chest, as if he wanted to squeeze his whole body into it. Yuta, you. The voice stopped abruptly, feeling the heat seeping from his chest. Luffy was silent. I'm sorry, Luffy. It's okay. I don't know why, I really didn't mean to fight you. Don't worry, I understand. In fact, I am the murderer who destroyed Elegica, right? It's not your fault, it's that monster who is using you. Woo, actually, I knew it a long time ago. Yuta shrank into Luffy's arms and burst into tears. I know Shanks is innocent, he is protecting me, and I also know that all this is my fault, but... Woo, I just can't let it go. It's okay, when I see Shanks in the future, I will criticize him for you. Luffy gently stroked his hand. Yuta's hair, smiled and comforted. In fact, I have already taught him a lesson for you, and he has realized his mistake. He wanted to come to you, but he was afraid that because of him, you would be targeted by the Navy. But Elegica was. That's all Totemojica's fault. It has nothing to do with you. You are innocent. Gently pushing the person in his arms away, Luffy held Yuta's face and said solemnly, no matter what happened in the past, from now on, Yuta, you will never be left behind by anyone again. Because I am here, I will always be with you. Luffy, woo. Looking at the young couple hugging each other passionately, Kobe stood up and walked towards the deck railing. I should be at the bottom of the ship, not here. Chapter 84. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey, Luffy. On the deck, Yuta looked at the stars, half leaning on Luffy's arms, and whispered softly, do you think I'm despicable? Huh. I want to say. Yuta's eyes drooped, and whispered, I know that I was the one who destroyed Elegica, but I selfishly blamed everything on Shanks. I know that I am escaping, but I still can't help it. I think I am really despicable. That's just Totemojica's power. Luffy curled his lips with disdain. It's just Yuta, do you really think you, a singer, can destroy the entire Elegica? I can't do it, how can you, Yuta? Don't forget, you have never defeated me. What? Upon hearing this, Yuta's pretty face instantly swelled up, and she glared at Luffy angrily. You are playing tricks again, Luffy really doesn't grow up. It hurts. Stop it. Hey. Luffy, you also ate the devil fruit. Yuta grabbed Luffy's face with more and more force, and laughed happily. Luffy is so elastic. I'm angry. Luffy stood up with a snap, covering his face and said angrily, want to fight, Yuta? Come on, Luffy, you can't beat me. Yuta said proudly with her hands on her waist. Humph. It's because you play tricks every time. Neither of them gave in to the other, staring at each other and confronting each other, just like when they were young. Okay. Let's have a chicken-eating game, Kobe, you be the referee. Okay, who's afraid of who? Looking at the sea, with his back to the two, Kobe had the urge to jump down. Woo, I really should have stayed at the bottom of the boat. 1, 2, 3, start. Accompanied by Kobe's call, Luffy and Yuta started at the same time, picking up the chicken legs in front of them and eating them. Woo, I won't be fooled this time. Really? Come on, Luffy, juice. Oh, Luffy, who was still confident in the last second, took the juice like a conditioned reflex in the next second and put it to his mouth to drink. Puff. Yuta, Yuta smiled and patted Luffy's shoulder. Sure enough, Luffy is still the same Luffy. Humph. Luffy picked his nose angrily. Oh, stop picking your nose. You were like this when you were a child. Why are you still, when you grow up? Luffy. Yuta is so annoying. He even cares about picking your nose. Live broadcast room, Pirate King Roger, ha ha ha, this little Luffy is quite smart. Pluto Rayleigh, actually, what Luffy said makes sense. What's wrong with the song? The real fault should be that monster. Marshal Sengoku, years of perseverance and resentment collapsed instantly after learning the truth. Her dream became a weapon that destroyed lives. Under this kind of blow, it's good that the little girl didn't go crazy. Vice Admiral Tsuru, at Red Hair, I hope you can solve it as soon as possible, otherwise the Navy will definitely not sit idly by. Red Hair Shanks, thank you, Sachi. Am I dreaming? Red Hair is actually saying thank you to the Navy. Vice Admiral Huashishin, humph. Who do you think we are in the Navy? Although Miss Yuta triggered Totemujika, this was not her intention. For the safety of the people, the Navy also hopes that the Red Hair pirates can solve this hidden danger as soon as possible. A certain sea area in the New World, on the deck, Shanks' face was firm, and his eyes could not stop flashing with regret. He never thought that because of him, Yuta would become like this, although it was not obvious. Shanks clearly noticed Yuta's mental abnormality from the video just now. Deep self-blame, the collision between dreams and reality, and the urgency to escape everything eventually led to mental abnormality. Take a deep breath. Shanks' fingertips holding the railing turned white. It's all my fault. Yuta must wait for me. This time, as a father, I will never abandon you again. At the same time. Hancock, why are you looking at me like this? No, nothing. I didn't do anything. Seeing Luffy's eyes, Hancock quickly restrained her expression and showed a look of knowing nothing. Aha, yes, is that so? Bean-sized sweat beads slid down Luffy's forehead. Just now, he clearly felt the chill coming from behind him. It was from Hancock. Ace. Luffy seems to be in danger. Sabo. It's okay, Ace, don't worry, Kurla is often like this. You see I'm fine, right? The live broadcast is still going on. What? I don't want to sleep with Yuta. In front of the cabin door, Luffy picked his nose and said unhappily, I'm a pirate now, not a child. Snap. Yuta slapped his hand down. Don't pick your nose. Yuta, you're so annoying. This is a punishment for you losing to me. Yuta hooked Luffy's neck, kicked open the cabin door, and walked in. Plop. Someone jumped into the sea. Sanji, punishment? Is this really a punishment? Luffy, you kid, Sand crocodile, I seem to understand what this parallel world is comparing. Red-haired Shanks. Pirate Queen Boa Hancock, damn woman, dare to force Luffy. Straw Hat Luffy, huh? Why does Yuta still treat me like a child? Damn it, in the cabin, on the bed. It's so hot, Yuta, can you stay away from me? No. Since it's a punishment, Luffy, you have to bear it. Yuta grabbed Luffy's ears and played with them in his hands, saying happily. But. No buts. Oh, Luffy said lightly, and his hands began to rub his waist. Hey. Hey. Luffy, you, what are you going to do? Bang. Yuta kicked Luffy off the bed, blushing and holding up the quilt and yelling. A lie. Luffy looked around in confusion, not knowing how he got down. I'm so hot. The cabin was already a bit stuffy, and now there was Yuta, so hot that Luffy took off his shirt directly. Who would have thought that he would be misunderstood by Yuta? Oh, knowing that he was overthinking, Yuta shrank back into the quilt and whispered, then come up. Humph, I'm not coming. Luffy, who was kicked off the bed, was very angry and went to the deck to find Kobe. Yuta is so annoying, not letting me pick my nose, not letting me sleep, and kicking me. A lie. Where's Kobe? Looking at the empty deck, Luffy asked. Gurgle woo-woo, Luffy, woo-woo. Kobe's voice came from the sea. Chapter 85. You are listening at novelfull.audio. East China Sea, Shields Town. Goodbye, Kobe. After sending Kobe to the 153rd Marine Branch, Luffy rescued the captured Zoro and successfully recruited the third crew member. Then he came to the West Rob village to recruit Usopp. Wait, Luffy. Yuta grabbed Luffy's face unhappily and said unhappily, when did I say I wanted to join your pirate group? Huh? Luffy was stunned. Yuta, you are the singer on the ship. No, to be precise, I should be the singer of the Red Hair Pirates, always. Yuta, you are cheating again. It's obviously because you are too stupid, Luffy. Enough, stop arguing, at worst I will be the singer on the ship in the future. Usopp wiped his nose and said proudly. Huh? Just Usopp. Luffy turned his head. If he could do Usopp, then he could be a singer. Feeling insulted as a singer, Yuta put his hands on his waist and said angrily, you too, do you want to challenge me? You are still arguing, where are you going now? Zoro said speechlessly. Of course we are going to the Grand Line. Luffy and Yuta shouted in unison. Okay. Zoro walked towards the main rudder helplessly. Yuta was puzzled. Hey. Zoro, can you drive a boat? Humph. Of course I can. Zoro said proudly, I am a man who has never lost my way. Yes, country number 1. Luffy, who is a road idiot, was envious. Ha ha ha. You all go and rest, just leave this kind of trivial matter to me. Yuta and Luffy looked at each other. Zoro is really reliable. Yeah, much better than Luffy, you idiot who can't read the sea chart. Damn it, Yuta, do you want to fight? Haha, I'm sleepy, I'm going to sleep. Really, 3 careless guys. Zoro, who was holding the main rudder, curled his lips and began to drive according to his own ideas. Live broadcast room, Nami. Let Zoro drive. No way, Sanji, green algae head, this road idiot, can really do it. Chopper, I always feel that something bad will happen. Usopp, will Zoro drive the ship directly to the naval base? Zoro, asshole. What are you talking about, do you think I'm Luffy, the idiot? Straw Hat Luffy, huh? Zoro is the one with the road idiot. For a moment, the Straw Hat Pirates were shocked, early morning, on the sea. Thank you for your hard work, Zoro. I'll drive, you go and rest, Alai. Looking at the unfamiliar scene in front of him, the island wrapped in countless dazzling lights, Luffy was completely dumbfounded. Where is this place? Are we still in the East China Sea? Humph. Of course it's the Grand Line. Zoro said disdainfully, Luffy, you can't even see this. This. Luffy's face was full of confusion. Go to bed. Zoro waved his hand and said unhappily, I will never get lost. A moment. Where is this place, Zoro? Usopp shouted, holding his head. Of course it's the Grand Line. Zoro said unhappily, how come you can't even recognize Usopp? Grand Line. Usopp widened his eyes and looked at the sea of clouds in front of him in disbelief. Are you sure? Humph. Go to sleep now, don't disturb me while I'm sailing. A moment. Yuta trembled and pointed at the huge naval base in the distance, and said in horror, is this still the Grand Line? Zoro who was driving the boat. Then he was furious, damn it. Is this nautical chart fake? There is no naval base marked on it. Luffy and the other 2. Yuta, hey, I think we should find a navigator. Luffy, Zoro is so cunning, he is obviously a road idiot like me. Usopp, we can't let Zoro continue to drive the boat, otherwise he might reach the Navy headquarters next time. Damn it, I won't get lost, let me go. Zoro, who was held tightly by Luffy and Usopp, struggled desperately. Hey, let's drink, Zoro. Okay. Zoro immediately obeyed. Live broadcast room. Straw Hat Luffy, ha ha ha, as expected of Zoro, Nami, you can drive the ship to the naval base. What on earth are you thinking, Zoro? Sanji, stupid. Chopper, Zoro is a road idiot. Straw Hat Luffy, humph. Three-sword style. Zoro, damn it, what does it have to do with me? It's clearly the fault of the sea chart. The live broadcast is still going on. East China Sea, Orange Town. What? You are Shanks' daughter? Buggy, who was pinned to the ground, almost popped his eyes out. Shanks, that bastard, actually has a daughter. Bang. Buggy was punched in the head by Yuta. Don't insult my father. Ah. Damn it. Baki was furious. It was fine that he was bullied by Shanks, but now even his daughter is bullying me. Woo, I'm so miserable. Suddenly, Usopp in the distance shouted, oh no, our Mary has been driven away. What? Everyone changed color when they heard this and immediately ran towards the port. Ha ha ha. A bunch of idiots, the treasure belongs to me. The orange-haired girl stood on the deck with her hands on her mouth, mocking everyone loudly. But when she saw Luffy in the crowd, her face suddenly changed. Why is it you, a poor guy again? The girl will never forget the miserable scene on that small boat, which made the mice cry when they saw it. It was indeed the only time she lost money in all these years. Huh. It's you again. Luffy picked his nose, his expression gradually excited. Wait for me. Go Mao go Mao. Swish. Luffy stretched out his arm instantly, grabbed the mast of the Mary, and flew over. Pa! Seeing Luffy landing steadily in front of her, Nami immediately became alert, and a cold light appeared on her waist. But Luffy didn't take action immediately, but smiled and looked at Nami. You can read the sea chart, right? So what? Nami raised her eyebrows and said unkindly, what do you want to do? Ha ha ha. Come and be my navigator. No Kigo. Actually, my name is Nami. Hey. Did you change your name? Stupid, I lied to you. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. East China Sea, Mary, on the deck. Nami is so cunning. Luffy folded his arms and smacked his lips. You are just too stupid. Wait a minute, Luffy. Yuta grabbed Luffy's face and pointed at Nami. So she is the navigator you recruited? He right, Nami is a very remarkable navigator. What's so remarkable about her? She won't get lost, isn't that remarkable? Nami said anxiously, wait, when did I promise you? Usopp, I support it, I have no objection, as long as Zoro is not allowed to drive the ship. Zoro said unhappily, asshole, it's obviously the fault of the sea chart. Damn it. Seeing that no one paid attention to her, Nami angrily rushed to Zoro. Usopp and Luffy punched each other on the head. Listen to me. Oh, I understand, it turns out that you were the one who stole Luffy's ship before. Yuta crossed his arms and raised his eyebrows to look at Nami. You are really bold, you dare to steal the ship? He. So as a punishment, Nami, you must be my navigator. Humph. You think I will give in? Nami was about to refute, but suddenly her eyes turned, and she looked at the Mary without leaving a trace. She secretly estimated the value in her heart and laughed immediately. Okay. I agree. Ha ha ha, we have a navigator. Luffy and Usopp raised their arms and shouted. Humph. Stupid Luffy. Yuta always felt that this Nami was not normal. Zoro. Damn, why don't you believe me? I Zoro am not a road idiot. Banquet. Banquet. I want to eat meat. Let's have a party. Hey. Give me some wine. Zoro, don't fight with me. Stupid Luffy, you lost again. Yuta is cheating again. 3 months later, everyone came to the restaurant on the sea, met Sanji by chance, and invited him to board the ship. And Nami took advantage of Zoro's sword duel with Hawkeye to secretly drive the Mary away. He, a bunch of idiots, you don't really think I want to be your navigator. Standing on the deck, Nami supported the railing with both hands, her hair fluttering in the wind, and a happy smile on her face. Once I sell this ship, I'll be able to collect 100 million berries. This way, everyone will be saved. Ha ha ha. Nami's excited laughter echoed on the sea, but as she laughed, her voice gradually became lower, and a trace of loneliness quietly floated onto Nami's cheeks. Strange, why do I feel sad when I obviously got the ship? I should be happy without those noisy and annoying guys all day long. Nami desperately rubbed the corners of her mouth with her fingers, wanting to make herself happy. However, when she felt the coldness sliding down the corners of her eyes, Nami froze, saying nothing, staring at the sea with a blank look. The deck, which used to be bustling, was now silent. Nami, you are also a fool. East China Sea, Cocoa Village. The ship docked at the port, and Nami rushed to the orange orchard. Then, Luffy and Yuta walked out of the cabin, looking at Nami's back in silence. Early before Nami wanted to seize the ship, Yuta noticed it, and came to the Mary with Luffy in advance to ambush. Seeing Nami start to act, Yuta wanted to stop her, but was stopped by Luffy. I believe in my navigator, and I believe in Nami even more. Luffy's tone was extremely firm. Although he was simple, he was not stupid. Although Nami's intentions on board were not pure, Luffy had already regarded Nami as his true companion after 3 months of companionship. And the scene just now verified this idea. Asshole. Yuta said in a low voice, her face frosty and her fists clenched tightly. The two didn't know why Nami did this, but there was no doubt that she was coerced. Let's go. Touching the straw hat on his head, Luffy strode towards the village with a cold face. He would never forgive the navigator who dared to bully him. Orange Orchard. The thief called Nami. It's you. Colonel Mouse smiled grimly and looked at Nami unkindly. According to our investigation, all the treasures you stole from the pirates are hidden here. Chirp, chirp, these are all stolen money, the government will confiscate them all. Looking at the sudden uninvited guest, Nami was shocked and pretended to be strong. I'll give you a piece of advice, I'm a member of Along's group, if you dare to touch me, Along will not ignore it. Chirp, chirp, interesting. Colonel Mouse laughed strangely and shouted, search for me. Stop. Nami tried her best to stop him, but she was no match for the Navy with her own strength. Report to the Colonel, I found something. Wow. So much money. Tisk, why are all the money stained with blood? Nami's pupils widened as she looked at the scene in disbelief. Why did the Navy know where she hid the money? Why did the Navy know that there was exactly 100 million of this money? Boom. At this moment, Nami's heart completely sank to the bottom. She finally understood. The Navy, which claimed to be righteous, not only turned a blind eye to Arlong and his gang, but also colluded with them. From the beginning to the end, Arlong had no intention of letting her go. Asshole. Nami, who was furious, immediately ran towards the Dragon Park. Chi chi chi, what a stupid girl. Colonel Mouse rubbed his beard and laughed hideously. I'm talking to you. The laughter stopped abruptly, and Colonel Mouse was stunned as he felt the chill coming from behind him. Luffy held Colonel Mouse's head tightly, twisted it around, faced him, and said word by word, what are you laughing at? You, bastard, you're going to do it. Bang. Colonel Mouse fell heavily to the ground. Luffy looked at Ken on the side, I'm Nami's companion, now, please tell me everything about Nami. Chapter 87. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Live broadcast room, Kaido. Ugh, this is the Navy I know, mean, shameless, and sanctimonious. Big Mom, Momomo, the true face of the Navy. Sachi, just a joke, the Navy of Justice, bah. Marshal Sengoku, shut up, this is only a minority. Vice Admiral Tsuru, but this is also true. When the people's grievances need to rely on pirates to maintain justice, it is undoubtedly a great sorrow for the Navy. At Nami, on behalf of the entire Navy, I apologize to you and the villagers of Cocoa West Village for what Colonel Mouse did. I'm sorry, this matter was not strictly supervised by my Navy, Marshal Sengoku. Although it's too late to say this now, the Navy can swear in front of the whole world that it will never allow such a thing to happen again. Navy Headquarters. Someone come, Vice Admiral Tsuru said calmly, is that rat still in jail? Execute him immediately. And that Monka, Zhangguo echoed, execute them all together. The inspection team for the major branches and fortresses of the Navy has been established. Set off immediately. See Knight Jinbei, at Nami, I'm very sorry. Although we haven't seen each other for a long time, that Along is still my little brother in name. I'm ashamed, the live broadcast is still going on. Cocoa West Village, Dragon Park. Along. Nami walked in angrily, the Navy that colluded with you secretly came to rob me of my money. Didn't you say that you would never break the agreement on money even if you died? Nami, furious, grabbed Along by the collar and asked, why? Snap. Eren sealed Nami's mouth with his big hand and grinned, when did I break the contract? Tell me about it. Nami's pupils suddenly widened. Ha ha ha, Eren laughed crazily, so that's it, the money was robbed, it's really bad luck. But, an agreement is an agreement. If you don't prepare 100 million Baileys and put them in front of me, I can't return the village to you. Like the devil's whisper, Eren's cold words pierced Nami's already broken heart again and again. Hot tears kept pouring out of her eyes. Nami, whose mouth was sealed tightly, wanted to say something very much, but she was powerless to resist at all. Conspiracy. All this is Eren's conspiracy. It's impossible to save up 100 million Baileys. As long as she sees a little hope, she will be immediately destroyed by Eren without mercy. The weak me can't resist him at all. I will always be like a puppet, staying in that dark room all day to draw sea charts for him. The treasures I got through blood and tears and on the verge of life and death will be ruthlessly taken away by him. Along's proud laughter still echoed in my ears. Boom! At this moment, Nami completely collapsed. Her heart, which had sunk to the bottom of the valley, could no longer float up. She suddenly felt so tired. She just wanted to survive humbly, but she was held down by the big hand covering her head and could never turn over. Snap! 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 Taking heavy steps, the soul-destroying Nami didn't know how she walked out of the Dragon Park. Her empty eyes looked ahead without a soul, until Aegean and the villagers came towards her aggressively. We swore 8 years ago that no matter how painful and humiliating their rule was, as long as Nami lived well, we would continue to fight this battle of endurance, but this is their answer. Now that the village has been closed, we have no hope. We can never forgive those fishmen who played with the kindness of that child. That's right, we must resist. Nami can no longer bear this pain alone. Even if we die today, we must bravely fight for Nami. Looking at the determined people, Nami was desperate. She tried her best to stop them and persuaded them like crazy, but she couldn't extinguish the anger in the hearts of the villagers. No, don't go. As long as you survive, there will be hope. You will die. Nami knelt limply on the ground, tears silently falling, and her mouth was almost begging. Along. 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 Nami raised the blade and stabbed it hard at the tattoo of the dragon pirates on her shoulder. She had never hated this pattern so much. Snap. The falling blade was grabbed by a hand. Are you here to laugh at me? Nami raised her head stiffly and looked at everyone. Get out. Get out. I don't need your pity, I'm just a shameful thief, I don't want you to sympathize with me. Get out. Get out. Get out. Nami cried loudly. Enough, Nami. A gentle voice came into Nami's ears, and then Yuta hugged Nami tightly, also with tears in her eyes, comforting her, you have done well enough, and the rest, leave it to us. Ms. Nami, who lives with this pain, let us take it off for you. Sanji said in a deep voice, lighting a cigarette. Usopp lowered his head. It is unforgivable to bully the navigator of our Straw Hat Pirates. Zoro said nothing, but his hand holding the sword suddenly tightened. Looking along the big hand that was tightly grasping the blade, a face with an expressionless face but infinite anger in the eyes came into Nami's eyes. At this moment, the string in her heart broke silently, Nami's body trembled, tears fell like rain, she covered her mouth and begged in a voice that only Luffy could hear, "Help me. Luffy." Snap. The straw hat that Luffy always regarded as a treasure was buckled on Nami's head like dust settled. "What are you talking about? You are the navigator I personally invited to board the ship." Luffy's voice resounded throughout the village, and he roared, "Of course it's true. Live broadcast room, Pirate King Roger, asshole. Where is this Arlong? I'm going to kill him, Pluto Rayleigh, damn it. I haven't been this angry for a long time, Sand Crocodile, he a mere fishman is so arrogant, Sachi, shameless. Kill him Luffy, Kaido, ugh where's the navy? Why aren't you talking? By the way, isn't the East China Sea the hometown of that old man Garp? New World on the deck. Let me get off the ship." Jinbei suddenly said, "I'm going to apologize to Miss Nami for what Arlong did, the live broadcast is still going on. East China Sea, Cocoa West Village, Dragon Park." Bang! 2 iron doors were kicked open by one person and hit hard above Arlong's head. Luffy strode in, followed by Sanji, Usopp, and Zoro. "Which one is Arlong? Get out." Chapter 88. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who are you? Arlong narrowed his eyes and looked at Luffy unkindly. My name is Monkey D. Luffy, Nami is my navigator. Nami. Your navigator. While Arlong stood up instantly, laughing strangely, it seems that you want to avenge Nami. Yeah. Luffy stretched his body and rubbed his hands. Let's fight quickly, are you going to commit suicide or be beaten to death by me? Bang! As soon as this was said, the people of the Dragon Pirates were angry and shouted. Where did you come from? How dare you come here and act so presumptuous? Asshole, don't you know that this is Brother Arlong's territory? Kill them. Let them see how powerful the fishmen are. Bang! Before he finished speaking, the fishmen watched Luffy, who was still far away, disappear in the blink of an eye, and appear in front of Arlong like a ghost, punching him. Boom! Arlong was struck by lightning, and his whole face was deformed by the huge force. While blood was gushing out, a big hole was smashed on the ground. Is this the power of the fishmen? Asshole! You are looking for death. Arlong roared and jumped up, looking at Luffy with the serrated long knife in his hand. Snap! The blade was caught steadily by Luffy's hand, and with a little force, it broke instantly, and then punched Arlong in the stomach. Puff blood splattered all over the sky, and Arlong hit the wall behind him heavily. Massacre the villagers and threaten Nami. Bang! Use despicable means to make Nami cry. Bang! Let Nami live in this pain forever. Bang! Dare to bully my navigator, unforgivable. With a bang, Arlong fell to the ground powerlessly, and had already stopped breathing. Humph! Clapping his hands, Luffy walked out of the Dragon Park. He did not help Sanji and others to deal with the other pirates, because they, like him, wanted to avenge Nami. Live broadcast room. Pirate King Roger, good kill, Sachi, very satisfying, Ace, good job, Luffy, Straw Hat Luffy, ha ha ha. Worthy of being another me. Sanji, Ms. Nami's smile is protected by me, that the live broadcast is still going on. Mary, inside the cabin. Thank you, Luffy. Ha ha ha. What are you talking about, Nami? Isn't this what I should do? Luffy laughed and patted Nami's shoulder, you are my companion. Pa pa pa. Pa pa pa. Pa pa pa. Nami's face darkened instantly, and she gritted her teeth. Thank you for helping me defeat Arlong and save the village. I told you not to be so polite. Pa pa pa. Pa pa pa. Bang. Asshole, it hurts. Okay, stop patting. Nami punched Luffy on the head with her backhand. I'm sorry. Luffy covered the bump on his head and said pitifully. Puff, seeing Luffy like this, Nami couldn't help laughing. You don't blame me for stealing the Mary? No. Luffy said firmly, Nami, you were also forced by others. I also stole your ship and treasure before. What? Treasure? Luffy scratched his head. Do I have treasure? Nami supported her forehead speechlessly. It doesn't matter, what matters is that I deceived you. Ha ha ha, I don't mind. Luffy put his hands on his waist as if thinking of something happy. If not, I wouldn't have met you. Luffy. Touched by these words, Nami's expression softened, her eyes flickered, and she couldn't help rushing forward, hugging Luffy in her arms, crying, thank you so much. If there was no Luffy, Nami really couldn't believe how things would turn out. He still couldn't escape from Arlong's clutches. The villagers were slaughtered by Arlong to avenge him. Ken, no Kiko, Luffy. You saved me. Nami put her pretty face on Luffy's face and said softly. You guys. Suddenly, Yuta, who appeared out of nowhere, saw the intimate scene between the two and instantly exploded. He jumped on the spot anxiously. He shouted, Nami you. Let go of Luffy. I don't want to. Nami hugged him tighter, stuck out her tongue playfully, and winked at Yuta. Both. The corner of her lips gently touched Luffy's cheek. Nami. Yuta suddenly felt sick, her pretty face flushed, and her head was constantly steaming. Pointing at Nami in disbelief, she said angrily, You, Nami, you actually. Yuta is so stingy. This is my thank you to Luffy. Nami smiled slyly. You are still a child, Yuta. But I, Sanji, Zoro, Usopp, all saved you. How could you do that to Luffy? Yuta was about to go crazy. She hadn't even kissed Luffy, and Nami actually ran away. Unforgivable. Ah. Yuta rushed forward and pulled Nami away, putting his hands on Luffy's neck, as if swearing sovereignty. Nami, you are not allowed to get close to Luffy in the future. Luffy, who never understood what was happening. What are you doing? Luffy picked his nose, looking puzzled. Why did Nami kiss him? And, why did Yuta suddenly get so angry? Did I offend her again? Luffy. You are not allowed to stay with Nami anymore. Huh? Why? Luffy was confused. Nami is my important partner. What about me? Yuta asked with a pout and her hands on her hips. Ha ha ha. Yuta, you are also my most important partner. Nami. Yuta. Who of us is more important? Nami said in a bad tone. Luffy was completely confused. We are all partners, can't we live in peace? Huh? Go to hell. Bang! Two pink fists hit Luffy's face at the same time. Humph. Luffy is so cunning. That's right, never pay attention to him again. Really? It must be true. Okay. Then no one will pay attention to him. The two women left with their arms around each other. In the cabin, Luffy, with a bruised face, opened his mouth, his eyes full of confusion. Strange. What did I do wrong again? Live broadcast room, Pirate King Roger, ha ha ha. Little Luffy made me laugh to death. Pluto Rayleigh, now I completely understand what this comparison is about. Sanji, no. This is impossible. Miss Nami actually, Nami, I did a good job in the parallel world. Nami has always had a companion relationship with Luffy, like the closest family, which has long surpassed the scope of love, but after seeing the bold actions of Nami in the parallel world, she suddenly felt that this was not bad. Come on. Parallel Nami, don't lose to others. Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Grand line, on the deck, boom. In an instant, the terrifying domineering aura burst out from Hancock's body, covering the sea and tearing the sky and sea in half. Damn it! Pirate Queen Boa Hancock clenched her fists, growled, and pointed her angry eyes at Yuta and Nami in the video, as if she wanted to tear the two women apart. Two shameless women, they dared to do such a bold move in front of the whole world. I am really angry to death. Ah. Hancock, why is your face so red? Are you sick? At this time, Luffy did not understand the reason for Hancock's anger, and tilted his head in confusion. Luffy. It doesn't matter if he doesn't ask, Luffy's question completely ignites Hancock. Oh, what a sin! Roger shook his head and walked away. Pluto followed closely behind, muttering, what is this? Shanks was embarrassed. Why don't we let Hancock get off the boat later? He was very worried that when he arrived at Elegia, Hancock would rush out to duel with Yuta before he could say a few words to her. Luffy, this kid, did a good job. Lucky Lu said with interest while holding a chicken leg. No, let's go save Luffy. Ace was anxious to rush up, but was pulled back by Sabo. Sabo waved his hand calmly, don't worry, it's just a small scene, I expected it a long time ago. Really? You will know in the future, women are like this when they get angry. By the way, what was the name of the girl you told me last time? Yamato. Snap. Hancock grabbed Luffy's face and was about to speak, but the anger on her face faded instantly. It seems to feel really good. It hurts. What are you doing, Hancock? Luffy said unhappily, what? Those two women can be pinched, but I can't. Humph. Hancock used more and more force with both hands, and said unkindly, what is your relationship with those two women? Who? Nami and Yuta. Oh they are all my partners. Luffy laughed. What about me? This sentence sounds so familiar. Luffy said in confusion, you are also my important partner. No, I am more important than them. Let them leave, Luffy, you are not allowed to meet them in the future. Hancock blushed and said angrily, also, why can they, you? What are you talking about? Hancock was almost crazy, shouting, I am asking, why can they kiss you? Oh, didn't you hear Nami say? This is my reward for saving her. Then. In an instant, Hancock's face became more and more rosy, and she lowered her head and said shyly, I want it too. Want? What do you want? Luffy was confused, he really didn't know what Hancock was talking about. Luffy, you are an idiot. Popped. The corners of his lips were slightly cold, and when Luffy reacted, the beautiful figure had already disappeared in front of him. See? I said it's no big deal. Sabo said proudly. This. How can they? Ace said in disbelief, is it the same with Kurla? No. She will hit harder. The live broadcast is still going on. Cocoa West Village, Port. Nokiko looked at Luffy fiercely, take good care of Nami, otherwise I won't let you go. Luffy. Why do I feel that everyone suddenly has such a big grudge against me? Don't worry. Accompanied by Luffy's solemn promise, the Mary set sail and headed towards the Grand Line. I want to drive the boat. Zoro, you are a road idiot, don't even think about this kind of thing, let me do it. Bang! Bang! Nami raised her fist, neither of you can touch the rudder, Sanji, you drive. Nami is so scary. Luffy said aggrievedly, covering his head. Humph. Yuta snorted coldly, grabbed Luffy's face and pulled it hard, you look very happy. Luffy wanted to ask Yuta how she knew he was happy. Nami, who saw the intimate scene between Yuta and Luffy, walked forward and grabbed Luffy's other face, saying happily, wow. It feels so good, it's really good. Didn't we agree that no one would pay attention to him? You were the first to break the contract. I'm punishing him. He me too, you're really my good sister. Yuta's eyes shot out fire. Shouldn't good sisters know how to share? Nami narrowed her eyes and also shot out lightning. Zzzz as the two sights collided, and Luffy, who was surrounded in the middle, trembled. After the two women left, Luffy stood on the deck, his eyes full of confusion. Yuta is so scary, Nami is also so scary. Little did they know that Sanji, who was sitting at the opposite rudder, was so envious that his back teeth were almost broken. Zoro was holding the bottle of wine and didn't bother to pay attention, but the figure of his senior sister Kuina appeared in his eyes. Dizzy Usopp leaned on the railing, looking in the direction of Cybro village, muttering Kaya's name. Rogue Town, came to the execution platform of Pirate King Roger, encountered the Buggy pirates, and after repelling them, met the Navy Captain Smoker again, and a fierce battle ended with Smoker's defeat. Crossing the upside-down mountain, came to Gemini Chia, met the agent of Baroque Works, and finally made an agreement with the King and Princess of Alabasta, Vivi, to go to Alabasta together. Mary, on the deck. Wow! I'm so full it's time to go to bed. Touching his bulging belly, Luffy hummed a song and walked into the cabin with a smile. Okay, you all go and rest, leave this to me. Sanji held the main rudder tightly, glanced at Zoro who was staring at him, and said unhappily. Then leave it to you, Sanji. Patting Sanji on the shoulder, Usopp went to sleep. Humph. Zoro snorted unwillingly and turned away. Let's go. Go to bed. Yuta took Nami's arm and smiled kindly. Nami looked back and smiled, okay, I want to sleep with you tonight. Midnight, on the deck. Sanji yawned long, looked at the calm sea, and after making sure there would be no problems, he leaned against the wall and began to take a nap. After a while, a dark figure slowly walked out of the cabin, glanced at Sanji, and came to the main rudder. At the same time, in the bedroom, a pair of beautiful eyes suddenly opened, looked at Nami beside her, and after making sure that she was sleeping soundly, she slowly lifted the quilt, stood up, pushed open the door, and left the bedroom. Creaky, the moment the door closed, Nami on the bed had picturesque eyebrows and eyes, her eyes were bright, and she flashed a little cunning. Chapter 90. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Squeak, the cabin door opened, and Vivi, with beautiful blue hair, came out, looking for the toilet with sleepy eyes. Suddenly, a dark shadow flashed from behind Vivi and disappeared. Who? Vivi suddenly woke up, frowned, leaned against the corner, and looked at it secretly from the corner of her eyes. A familiar figure came into view. Yuta. After seeing who it was, Vivi exclaimed in her heart, but before she could think about it carefully, she saw Yuta quietly open the cabin door and walked in carefully. Bang! The door closed, Vivi's eyes widened, looking at the door in disbelief. Luffy? Luffy's room? Yuta, this is too bold. Vivi, an honest child who had never encountered such a thing, blushed for a moment, and was a little bit unable to accept it. These two people. So they have this kind of relationship. Pulling the corner of her mouth, Vivi lamented that she had never seen it before. She always thought that Yuta and Luffy were just good friends, but she didn't expect, forget it. This kind of thing has nothing to do with me, just silently bless them. Turning around with a smile, Vivi walked towards the toilet. Snap! In the silent cabin, footsteps can be heard clearly, and the moment the black shadow passed by, Vivi captured it clearly. Who? Vivi turned around instantly, leaned against the wall skillfully, and looked at it skillfully with the corner of her eyes. Just wait until she sees who is coming. Bang! Her heart sank hard, and Vivi couldn't believe her eyes. Nami? It was actually Nami. Creaky, Luffy's door was slowly pushed open, Nami looked around carefully, and then walked in. 3 people. They are actually 3 people. Nami, Yuta, Luffy, they. At this moment, Vivi clearly heard the sound of her three views shattered. That night, Vivi felt that she had grown up. Live broadcast room, Kaido, as expected of the hateful Straw Hat Boy. Big Mom, Momomo. So this is the Sea King. Sachi, great, Ace's brother, at Ace, learn from your brother. Ace. New World, Navy warship. As expected of Mr. Garp's grandson. Akiji pouted, his face full of sarcasm. Garp's expression was indescribable. The rest of the Navy soldiers on the deck were full of envy. Damn Straw Hat Boy, he has such a great luck with women. Grand line. Sabo, what's going on? Ace stared blankly at Hancock, who was rushing towards Luffy. Sabo was anxious and jumped up and down. Hurry up and save him, Ace, why are you standing there? Isn't it within your expectations? Sabo was confused. He really had never encountered such a situation before. The live broadcast is still going on. Inside the cabin. Luffy wailed in pain. Yuta, can't you just let me have a good sleep? Humph, no sleep. Yuta raised her eyebrows. Talk to me. But I'm really sleepy. Luffy cried. Okay. But I want to pinch your face while sleeping. Luffy waved his hands weakly. Pinch it. Yuta smiled slightly, hugged Luffy from behind, pinched his face with her small hands, and slowly fell asleep. Just, creaky. The moment the door opened, Yuta and Luffy woke up at the same time, looking outside the door in surprise. Nami jumped onto the bed with a smile, and without waiting for the two to react, she lifted the quilt and got in, pinching the other side of Luffy's face with her hands. Sleep. After saying that, Nami leaned her head on Luffy's chest and slowly fell asleep. Luffy? Yuta. Crackling. Yuta gritted her teeth and said unhappily, is this what you call good sisters? Nami. He didn't you say that no one should care about Luffy? Yuta was speechless. If you really care about it, it seems that she really ran away first. But Nami. What's wrong with me? I just want to sleep. Just want to sleep. Yuta sat up suddenly. Isn't such a big bed enough for you to sleep? Nami also sat up and said, what are you doing now, Yuta? Luffy, who was caught in the middle, was about to collapse. What's going on again? Okay. You two go to sleep, I'll go sleep somewhere else. Bang! The door closed, Luffy came out picking his nose, and a look of confusion appeared on his face again. Huh? The person who just walked over seemed to be Vivi, right? Forget it. Luffy, who was very sleepy, came to the deck and greeted the people in front of the main rudder with sleepy eyes. Hey, it's Zoro, you've worked hard. Oh, it's Luffy, it's okay, you go to sleep. Live broadcast room, Nami, Zoro. Sailing. Chopper, oh no, Luffy, wake up. Zoro is sailing to the Navy headquarters. Sanji, damn it, Luffy. Robin, I hope we don't end up in a volcano and get burned to death. Zoro, asshole, early morning, on the deck. Hiss, it's so cold. Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro were woken up by the cold at the same time. Good morning, Vivi. Luffy greeted enthusiastically. But Vivi just snorted coldly and didn't even look at him. Humph. Luffy is a bad man who plays with feelings. I don't want to talk to him anymore. But the next second, Vivi stared blankly at the endless snow-capped mountains in front of her and froze in place. Where's the desert? Where's the desert of my Alabasta kingdom? Mr. Sanji. Excuse me, where are we? Vivi asked with a twitching mouth. It's so cold. Sanji slowly opened his eyes, and when he saw the white snow in front of him, he was completely dumbfounded. Where is this place? Isn't our next stop Little Garden Island? Huh. This is Alabasta. Zoro, who had just woken up, stared at everyone with a look of what are you talking about? Vivi and Sanji were stunned. Which eye did you use to tell that this is Alabasta? Good morning. Luffy stood up and smiled after brushing off the snowflakes on his body, exclaiming, Sri Lanka, there is so much snow, Zoro is worthy of it, now we can have a snowball fight. Zoro laughed and crossed his arms proudly, ha ha ha. Right, Luffy, you also think this place is great. Okay, it turns out that it is you, the green algae head, who did this again. Sanji grabbed Zoro's collar and said viciously. Asshole. Isn't this Alabasta? Are you going to piss me off to death? Alabasta is a desert country, where does the snow come from? Huh. Seeing the snow on Luffy, Vivi was surprised and said, Luffy, did you sleep on the deck last night? Yes. Luffy pouted. Vivi was silent. Did I misunderstand Luffy? Humph. Nami and Yuta are so annoying, they keep me awake. Luffy is indeed a bad man.